Jai Shri, Jai Shri Narayan, to our revered Guru, His Oneness, Acharya, Shyam, Ramanuj, and the members of the Shri Narayan Dham. A temple is a holy ground and a place where people hope to find peace and tranquility in order to relate to God. Our Sangam was divinely inspired by our founder, the revered Guru CV Balakrishna Pillai. He had a vision that the prayer is the means to surmount to any problem. In the modest and humble premises of a hotel, where he was employed as a waiter, the first seeds were sown for the origin of this Sri Sithe Vinayaga, Sivasaathana, Thava, Saiva Sangam in 1907. This vision was continued at the present Sangam site by the subsequent Gurus, Deputy Gurus, Achigars, Deputy Achigars, our trustees, members of the religious council, and members of the Sangam. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity of talking about our temple and singing a few songs for Sri Narayan. Just a quick history of our temple. Our temple has become a symbol of what humble devotees can achieve under difficult circumstances. Through prayer and clear focus and a lot of hard work. For decades, the members of our temple struggled undaunted through economic and legislative challenges. They persevered through a term that we have coined labor of love, using the tools of prayer, deep devotion, dedicated and hard work to nurture the human spirit. Our values and traditions and customs in our Sangam up till this day stands quite strong. This year, our temple reaches another milestone of 115 years on the 27th of October 2022. Our temple is involved in a lot of community projects. Over the times, our saints and sages have propagated that service to mankind is a service to God. So currently, with the assistance of corporate sponsors, the Sri Sithe Vinayaga Sangam has expanded its services commitments to include community projects. These include feeding and clothing the disadvantaged communities and informal settlements, entertaining and feeding the elderly, which we feel is also one of the important things that we as youth, I'm not going to say youth, I'm not that young anymore, need to do for our communities. Also, a lot of distribution of hampers to the needy as required. One thing that has started in 1958 and that we are very proud of is the start of the Mother Sangam in our temple, which is the women's group, and this organization formed within an organization helps to build up the organization. So as we know, the women and the mothers in any organization will always help to enrich that particular, or for that matter, any other organization. This subcommittee of our Sangam assists with many of the day-to-day runnings of our organization. The ladies arrange their own functions and assist the community in various functions and challenges facing our community. Another big point of our temple that had to be mentioned, something that we couldn't leave out, is our Sangam Hall. We're quite proud that our Sangam Hall offers funerals, ceremonies, and also weddings and similar functions. The hall is also available for hire. We at Sri Sithe Vinayaga, we hold weekly services. That's on a Sunday from 9 to 10 a.m. and on a Monday from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. And I'm sure in the very near future we will have some of the members of this organization joining us for a service.
Jai Sriman Narayan.
Again, to our revered Guru, thank you very much for inviting us, having us here, singing songs in your honor. Jai Sri Narayan.
Jai Sriman Narayan. Jai Sriman Narayan. Jai Sriman Narayan. Jai Sriman Narayan. I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagat Guru Sudarshan Acharya Ji Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Shri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to our Purva Acharyas. I pay my obeisances to our 12 Alvars. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi, and I pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. I welcome all of you here physically at the Sri Narayan Dham in Durban, South Africa. I welcome those that watching this discourse locally, nationally, and internationally, and I welcome in advance those that's going to be watching this discourse when it is posted on YouTube and various groups from around the world subsequently. Today, we continue on our forward march in celebrating the month of the Ramanujans, and the Sri Narayan Dham has specifically created this celebration named the month of the Ramanujans for the simple reason that two of the greatest Ramanujans appeared between 1,000 years ago. The first Ramanujan is Lord Shri Ramanuj, who was born 1,005 years ago in South India. He is regarded as one of the greatest philosophers and expounders of Sanatana Dharma. His work is meticulous. He articulated all aspects of the Vedas in the manner that it originated as the essence of the Supreme Lord Himself. 1,000 years later, my own Guru, Swami Sudarshan Acharya Ji Maharaj, whom you see on my right hand side with the big beard, he took his birth as the foremost scientist of Sanatana Dharma in the 21st century. The Sri Narayan Dham itself took its birth on the 10th of October 2013. So we're still a baby compared to your 120 years, but we have taken long and wide strides. In a few years, we became international, and we began promoting as per the hierarchy depicted within the Vedas, more so from the Upanishads, the category and various categories of the Supreme Lord. So our aims and objectives, which is constituted in our constitution, is we are here to clear all confusion that is reigning in Sanatana Dharma. So our very first understanding of Sanatana Dharma is that it is not an organized religion per se. Sanatana Dharma is not an organized religion per se. It is a science that is required for every living entity within this universe. So Sanatana Dharma do not belong to a specific human community or any specific living entity. It embraces every living entity from Lord Brahma, the secondary creator, right down to the end, including plants, reptiles, shrubs. Wherever there's life, that is Sanatana Dharma. That concept of Hinduism we reject at Sri Narayan Dham with all the contempt that it deserves, for there is no religion called Hinduism. This was a term coined by the Muslims that were living across the river Sindhu, and it was a geographical location that they called Hindustan because they could not pronounce the word Sindhu, and they said that all those people living across the river Sindhu, they geographically termed that point as Hindu. Then the West, when they colonized India, they ran with this terminology called Hinduism. There is no word called Hinduism in any of the Vedas. There is no word called Hinduism in any of the Vedas. So in the Vedas, we are described as Sanatana Dharmis. Sanatan means eternal, and Dharmi in the sense that we should adopt, understanding the word Dharma, it cannot be boxed into what we call religion. It should not be seen as religion. Religion took its birth as per the Abrahamic religions, where it is simply a set of rules to guide you morally and ethically. This is not Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma embraces every aspect that exists in this universe. A Muslim can practice Sanatana Dharma, a Christian can practice Sanatana Dharma, a Buddhist can practice Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma is the oxygen, the cosmic energy that pervades this entire universe. Sanatan means eternal. Dharma means to hold together. You need cosmic energy. Every living entity needs cosmic energy for your very sustenance. That is Sanatana Dharma. You need your 5 basic elements. You need space, you need air, you need fire, you need water, you need earth. That is Sanatana Dharma. So Sanatana Dharma cannot be compressed and compartmentalized like the Abrahamic religions, or for that matter any other religion that exists on this earth. Sanatana Dharma is that common thread that runs through you, that runs through me, that runs through the plant, that runs through the insects. That common thread is called consciousness. That is Sanatana Dharma. So Sanatana Dharma is the library for the universe. Sanatana Dharma is the library for the universe. So many of you have microwaves, almost everyone. And when you purchase your microwave, you purchase it with a handbook. When you open your handbook will detail comprehensively every aspect of your microwave, every screw, every rubber, every bulb, every dimension that your microwave is in. Similarly, the handbook for this universe is called the Vedas. We have 4 Vedas. We have 108 Upanishads in the main. We have histories that now technology is proving true. The Ramayana did take place. The Ramayana did take place. Lord Ram did enter the material universe. The Ramayana took place between 1.7 to 2 million years ago. It is absolutely scientific and it is history. History has to be scientific because history means that which occurred in the past. So that which occurred in the past has to be tangible, it has to be absolute. Then we have the Mahabharata. Mahabharata did take place 5,000 years ago. It is history. Lord Shri Krishna did take his form on this planet, Earth, 5,000 years ago, and he did speak the Bhagavad Gita. He did explain to all of humanity all that is known, compressed in only 700 verses. And it is not very difficult to grasp 700 verses. And I always explain with love, that every morning when a woman, a mother, a wife or a sister, when she awakens, before her eyes are open, she already shot more than couple hundred verses. Then when her eyes are properly open, more 100 verses get shot. Before you go in the bathroom and you're ready to go to work, she has spoken more than the Bhagavad Gita on a daily basis. And I also gave another example, and again would love. If a woman's mouth was the foot brakes of a car, if you apply the brakes in Newcastle, it will come and hold down here in Durban. Alright? So, when I give these explanations, their husbands become my devotees naturally. And I hear in the corridors, the husband says, "Hey, this guru is a outie." Because I take on some deadly topics. And for my own devotees that are here, that are not sick, then I have my own Bhadra Kalis on this side, my own devotees. All my females are some form of Kali and Durga Mata combination. And whilst I'm discussing Kali and Durga Mata, and you'll all know in Sanatana Dharma, we say there are 330 million Devis and Devtas. They all reside in my devotee called Sithe. And today it's her birthday. She's ancient. We don't know the actual numerical figure. She's here since time immemorial, and we are going to sing happy birthday for her. She's an exemplary female devotee of the Sri Narayan Dham. The Sri Narayan Dham has no relationship outside itself in terms of caretaking, in terms of finances. We do not have public donors, no public sponsors. We are self-sustained from within ourselves, and in that framework, Sithe has done and continues to make a huge difference in our lives. But I'll advise the devotees, that when she tries new recipes, stay far away. Okay? And I was about to resign as a guru from eating Sita's recipes. And when Mataji was in hospital, Sita said, Acharya ji, I will take care of you. I will take care of you. And the very first meal she provided me was bhaji. And it had so much of salt. And she's looking at me intently to see what I say, because she cooked the meal. And being a guru, you eating poison, how can you tell your disciple that you are eating poison? So I had to grit my teeth, swallow the poison as long as she was looking, and ask Lord Narayan, please don't punish me anymore. I've paid so much in my life. Last few years I have. Just let me have an ordinary meal. And if you think that was bad, the following day I said, Sita, I love tea. Please give me a cup of tea. And unfortunately, I could not hold that tea inside because it was again full of salt. It just swooshed out of me. Alright? So, if you think the Guru's life is easy, just walking like a king, sitting on this beautiful chair high, no, I go through hell. And if I write about my hell, it will be a best seller. Okay? So with that, Sita, I wish you a very, very happy birthday, and I wish you many, many years of making the Guru tolerant. If there's a barometer, then I'm the most tolerant Guru in this universe. And thanks to Sita, that God instructed as an instrument to keep the Guru tolerant. So she baked some pies. If you see pies, it has not been tasted by the Guru yet. Risk is yours. Shri Narayan Dham does not cover that public liability of the pies. I heard in my sleep, oven 180 degrees, baking, and I tried to hide in that sleep and go into a deeper sleep. Alright? And lastly, even for a birthday, she's not dressed well. But when there was an India Guru we invited from the same tradition, Sita was dressed so beautifully that I did not know who she was. Okay, so she has a preference for India Gurus. Alright, even on her birthday she's dressed very, very drab if you look at the photographs that Sita and how she dressed when the Guru from India was here. So going back, in 2018, we launched the Lord Narayan Awareness worldwide. At that point in time, when we went into the internet and we went on Google and we typed Narayan, then you only found half a page describing who Lord Narayan was. Since our launch on the 6th and 7th, which was a world first, in a 24-hour non-stop bhajan, kirtan and discourse, we launched the Lord Narayan Awareness worldwide. Today, if you go on Google and if you type in Narayan, you have a choice to read who Lord Narayan really is. Although we are based here in Durban locally, this ashram is the first inaugurated ashram of Lord Shri Ramanuj of the Shri Sampradaya on the African continent. It was inaugurated as per the Pancharatra Agamas, which is the ritual function by a Pancharatra Agama priest. So the Guru comes from a background of being a military personality, businessman, atheist. You all know who an atheist is? I spent many years not believing in the Supreme Lord because there was nobody in my family or the system that I was born in to explain the existence of a Supreme Personality. And it was my search over this period of being an atheist through the various religions, through the Quran, through the Bible, through the Vedas. It was this thirst and this darkness that pervaded me that I wanted to see that light, and I took a single journey all by myself. All Mataji would say throughout our lives, one day I'll live in the ashram. She said that when she was 20, she said that when she was 30, she said that when she was 40, she said that when she was 50. Now she has not reached 60 years, but all along the way, she said, I will live in an ashram. And I thought she needed King George Hospital. You know King George Hospital? Okay. And I thought she needed that hospital quite badly. Then, when I was 36, my mom reopened. She took me to a priest to reopen book. You all know the opening book story. And when the book was opened, they said that you will die at the age of 93 in a satsang. So I left my mom home, Chatsworth, Road 615, and then I drove to the nearest bottle store. I was so upset that this book could say that I will die in a satsang. You understand? And today, I am seated here in your presence expounding the Vedas. I do not know Hindi, I do not know Tamil, I do not know Sanskrit, but I know the Bhagavad Gita, I know the 4 Vedas, I know the 108 Upanishads, I know the Ramayana, I know the Mahabharata. I know all that there is needed to know to teach the world Sanatana Dharma on an international stage. And the reason I'm saying this is so that I can inspire those that are on the path of ignorance when it comes to Sanatana Dharma. We want to be an inspiration, and this is why God has sent me on this road. 2 days ago, we picked up the cow feed from Premier, and my big son was driving across, what's that road that goes past the chemist and connects with Maklati and Sternhold. So driving past Sternhold, and my son said, Dad, your butcher is still existing. Because I used to buy half a sheep at that butcher every Friday. I was not a lover of chicken, I was not a lover of fish, eggs, tin fish. I just liked my lamb, and if I was late, I would phone the butcher and he would keep the half a sheep or half a lamb in the pharmacy to pick up. I used to smoke 100 cigarettes a day. 100 cigarettes a day. Okay? So again, I want to be an inspiration to those that want to connect to the Supreme Lord. Don't look at your habits. Your habits should not be an obstacle on your forward march to the Supreme Lord. In time, the Lord Himself will remove your obstacles, which are your habits. You must just make the intention and just take one step forward. So if you look at my history, I was a military man, and when I took my son Shyam, he's right there in the back, he was singing bhajans in the front. When he was about 13, 12, he said, "Dad, I want to know about you." So I took him to Warwick Avenue, and the gangsters told him, "Hey, your dad, deadlies." And they were trembling when they were telling him. Long after I resigned from the police force, I think they still felt the sounders running in between their ears from when I was a policeman. So they said, "Hey, your dad." Then I took him 7th floor to our headquarters, and I asked my colleagues to just show him how thick my file was. And policeman normally file is so big when he resigns. Mine was, he can verify, about so thick. Because I did my work, I had multiple assault and GBH charges. So if you didn't toe the line, I smacked you into toeing the line. And I'm still spiritually smacking my devotees. That is why you only see a handful. Okay? Because I've been through hell and back just to taste a tablespoon of spirituality. I don't want you to go through the hell that I went for this tablespoon of spirituality. And in order for you not to go through that hell, now and again I have to ship-shape, but not physically. I'm not allowed to ship-shape physically. So the Sri Narayan Dham has aggressively taken on a campaign called Oneness. And we invited the mosque, we invited the church, we invited the synagogue, we invited everyone, and everyone has been here in this month of the Ramanujans. And we said, why not invite our own Sanatana Dharmis? Because if you promote in oneness, and we are so fractured as Sanatana Dharmis, there's no unity between us. You cook your food, we cook our food, and Sapta Mandir will cook their food, and Sai Baba will cook their food, and we don't want to share anymore like the magazine barracks days. So I have reached out, and I'm saying with love that if you're a Sanatana Dharmi, don't close yourself like organized religion, like the Abrahamic religions. In Sanatana Dharma, everything must be open. And this is why I have learnt about you today, and you have learnt about me today. I'm also teaching that gurus should be reachable. If there is a guru that you cannot reach, then forget about him. He's not a guru, because guru must be full of love, full of compassion, the Guru must become the doormat. You must be able to stand on the Guru's feet. Then that is a bona fide spiritual master. If the Guru is too high, and if there's 50 people that you have to see before you see the Guru, then that person is not a Guru. He's a commercial Guru. You want a spiritual Guru. Your Guru must be available 2 in the morning. Something happened, phone your Guru. Guru must be able to pacify you. Guru must be able to find a solution. Not resolve your problem, but head you towards a solution. And when I got back from India, when this mission was given to me, then my best friend, who has passed on now, we sat and we discussed. In Reservoir Hills, there's already the Sai Center, there's the Sapta Mandir, there's Battersea Hall, Andhra Sabha in the bottom. So there were about 6 international ashrams, and I was given a mission to spread the teachings of my Guru, Swami Sudarshan Acharya Ji Maharaj. So I'm coming from the business world, I'm coming from the military world. It is natural that I'm going to analyze my environment. And when I analyzed my environment, I said, what different can we offer? Because we already have 6 international ashrams in my ward. You understand? So we started off in a classroom. Resmont, I took the hose, I hosed the entire classroom, ceiling, everything. And we started our first satsang there. But I did not allow these huge international ashrams to bother my mission. One day at a time, one satsang at a time. Today, the world is looking at Reservoir Hills through the Shri, Narayan, Dham. We are in 45. For some reason, I like the number 48. But we are only in 45 countries. This broadcast will reach 45 countries in every continent around the globe. But when we started, we were dwarfed by all these huge ashrams that surrounded us. You understand? Again, the reason I'm saying this is not because of ego, but when you start a mission and when you lock your hands with the Supreme Lord, then your mission can reach any height. So, with this love, I hope this is not our first and our last meeting. When you have something that you believe you want to invite our ashram, we will come inconspicuously. I'm not that limelight Guru. I'm the doormat Guru. We'll come inconspicuously. We'll sit one side in the table. Whatever you need us to do, whatever is your protocol, we will follow. Then lastly, I will conclude in 2018, before visiting Sri Rangam, as we were traveling in a taxi, I saw high on the mountain 4 domes. And I remarked to my disciple that this might be a mosque. And when we went in our hotel, the next day I wanted to investigate and go to these 4 domes. So we had a language problem. South, we are English. We were in South India. But we bought tickets to go to that place. And I have photographs, I have videos. If my admins can add this onto this discourse. So there was a hand-chiseled stairway, winding granite rock. And as I took each step, I was taken back in time thousands of years ago. This rock was chiseled, but I don't know how many thousands of people, just so that I could come from South Africa and walk up. When I was walking up, I did not know what lies right on the top. But I felt the intensity of this labor. Can you imagine today somebody carving up a stairway just so that you can reach your favorite deity? How labor intensive that must have been 3,000 or 4,000 years ago, hand, chisel and hammer, just so that we could walk up and visit that deity. And when I reached right on top, that deity was this size in gold. And guess which deity it was? Lord Ganesha. I walked the long walk, the grueling walk, circular walk, almost vertical walk, and when I reached right on top, I had the opportunity of seeing one of the oldest Ganesha Murtis in south of India. So Guru has been graced by the Lord himself. I can synthesize all aspects of Sanatana Dharma so that you and I can love this great science called Sanatana Dharma. Please stay. Please enjoy your meals. You can check your meals which was cooked by Sithe again. But enjoy your meals, and if you need any time, you have my administration. I don't know who's you the leader by, or you the Guru. Okay, you'll have my details. Vishwadar Ramanuj Das, he is our chairperson. Contact, don't make this a once-off. There's a lot of work to be done in South Africa. At the moment, our country is in ruins. We don't have formidable leaders. We don't have moral and ethic leaders. And I came to a conclusion earlier last year that it is us, spiritual leaders, that allowed this country to come to this demonic state. And on that assumption, I've invited everyone, and we have created a committee called the Interfaith Committee. And tomorrow it's going to be legally launched at 4:30 at this premises, where we have Rastafarians, we have the Shyam, we have traditional leaders, we have Christianity, we have Islam, we have Buddhism, from across the board. And we want to become that formidable, because religious and spiritual citizens of this country are greater vote banks than the vote bank for the DA, for the EFF, for the ANC. And if we can walk this walk together across religious lines, next election this country is back in our hands. Jai Sriman Narayan.